Okay. There you guys go. Welcome into Blazers Uprise Live. That's the second day in a row to end the year that I've had my mic muted on the intro. I have to edit that out after it's posted, so apologies for that. Yeah, this is my first solo stream in quite a while. We're not going to have Eric on the stream today. Eric is busy doing some work stuff, so it's just me. We'll still do picks against the spread. I have two of Eric's 4 picks. We'll have our mods participate as always. But yeah, I accidentally muted myself yesterday, and I was accidentally muted today, so my bad with that one. We'll talk about Zach Collins if we can. Hopefully, I don't have to deal with the lag issues that I dealt with the first 2 times I tried to run a Blazers Uprise live stream, because the past 2 times I've tried to do this in the middle of the day, my internet has been absolutely crap. So I'm going to knock on wood, cross my fingers, whatever, just praying that this internet will cooperate with me today. OJ Mail says nothing beats the time you ranted on mute though. Yeah, I've had some muted moments, man. I ranted about that Utah Jazz goaltending call for 3 minutes, and it was a great rant. It was maybe my best rant ever, and I was muted, and that was very disappointing. So yeah, we would try not to do that again. Well, I'll take your questions too. We'll talk about Zach Collins. We'll talk about TJ Warren being out with injury. We'll touch on the rest of the NBA, but yeah, it'll be a little different feel streaming solo. It's just been so long since I've actually done one of these. I know Eric did a solo stream a week ago because my internet wouldn't cooperate and wouldn't let me be a part of that. So yeah, this will be fun. What's going on, everybody? Hope your day is going well. Let's just jump straight into picks against the spread. The first game we got is the Rockets versus the Kings. This is gonna look a little weird because it's set up for two screens right here, but it's just me, so it's a little skinny. I got a little box here to fit into, but let me hide. Those are not the picks. Let me hide all those. Forgot to do that. There we go. And the background is not covering everything. Let's move that up as well. No, my camera is what I need to fix there. Yeah, so some of the setup with this was a little weird just because I had to change some things around. That's why I didn't go live until right now. So yeah, we got the Rockets at 0-2 against the Kings at 3-1. The Rockets are favored by 5 points at home. John Wall is making his debut today. I don't know the status of DeMarcus Cousins, but you will have John Wall, and you will have James Harden, of course. I'm going to roll with the Sacramento Kings. They've been playing good basketball, and a 5-point spread for the Rockets, who are 0-2. I mean, I know John Wall's playing, but he might have some rust to knock off a little bit. So I'm just going to take the Kings with the points in this one. We got Reese also taking the Kings. I need to check Eric's pick. Oh, Reese retracted his pick. Come on, Reese. So yeah, if Mod isn't in chat, then obviously they won't be able to make their picks. The records might be a little off. So we'll try and get them back to even in the future. But we got Westbrook with the Kings. Reese, you still going with the Kings? And let me check Eric. Eric's going with the Kings as well. So it looks like everybody's on board with the Sacramento Kings in this one. I don't know if Trevin is in here. Let me read chat. This part might be a little disconjointed because I gotta read chat and all this, and I don't have Eric to help me. So we got 2 for the Kings, 2 for the... I think there's one more. For the Kings. This is pretty even for chat. I think there's one more for the Kings. Reese said Rockets. Reese wants to go against the grain. It looks like Trevin isn't in here. So we'll I'll try and message him and get his picks maybe around 4 p.m. If not, he'll be a little bit behind. But yeah, I'm 3-3. Eric was 5-1 on day one. Our mods were all 1-5. It was a rough day for them. Hopefully they can do better. And then chat was also 3-3. And it looks like, I don't know. It looks like these picks are even. Reese or Westbrook, can you guys count the picks for me on this, because it's hard to read and run it. Sorry if the stream is hiccuping. There might be a little bit of lag. Seems better than it was though. Also, do not pick twice. I've seen people pick twice. You guys just make it a lot harder. So do not pick twice. Isn't there a way to do a poll? Yeah, I need to figure it out. That would be the easiest way to do it. To just put, I wish YouTube had a feature where I could just put a poll in chat. That would be so clutch. That would be so great for this. But YouTube is a little behind the curve in that regard. They don't have as much functionality as Twitch. So yeah, I think chat is going with the Kings. Good job, Reese. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you could count the picks, I would greatly appreciate that. So here we go with the Kings. Trevin is MIA. So maybe I'll have him pick on a Saturday or something. I'll figure out a way to catch him back up with that, just because I like having the records even. So those are our picks for Sacramento and Houston. Let me make sure all these are hidden on the next slide. And the next game we got is Toronto against New York. Toronto has been struggling. Toronto was 0-3, and it's actually quite surprising because I expected them to remain legit going into the season. I did not expect an 0-3 start from them. The Knicks are 2-2. The Raptors are favored at 9 at home. This is kind of an early season must win for them. I mean, you can't lose to the New York Knicks and fall to 0-4, right? So let me know your picks down there in the comment section. And let me pull that up. Cool. I am going to go with the Knicks and the points just because the Knicks, I mean, they're 2-2. They beat the Cavs, which isn't a good team. I don't know who else they beat. I don't know if there's an injury situation for them today. I'm kind of rough around the edges in regards to some of the injury situations of certain teams, but the Raptors being 0-3, not playing good basketball right now, I'll just take the Knicks with the points in this one, keeping it close enough. I think the Raptors definitely win this game, but I'm going to take the points in this one. You got, let me see here. Eric had the Knicks as well. It looks like Reese is also going with the Knicks. Let me hide this clown. All right. We waiting on Westbrook in chat. Oh yeah, they beat the Bucks. The Bucks have been super inconsistent this year. How do you lose to the Knicks and then beat the Heat by 50? It looks like Westbrook is going with the Knicks as well, so we're all on board with this one. I saw a lot of Raptors in chat. It looks like Raptors is going, or chat's going with the Raptors. Ben says, damn, we're to the point where we're picking the Knicks over the Raptors. Well, you're talking about a 9-point spread. If this was a toss-up, obviously I'd go with the Raptors. The Raptors are just the better team, and they're playing at home. But with a 9-point spread and the Raptors not playing well, those two things combined, I'm just going to take the points in that one. So, Reese, does it look like they're going with Raptors, or am I blind? Westbrook says Knicks 8-7. Alrighty, appreciate it. So it looks like we're all going with the Knicks. Let's move on into the third game. Let's go to OKC and New Orleans. And I forgot to hide these, so let me hide all these again. So we got OKC, who is 1-2. They won opening night against the Houston Rockets, but OKC's roster is not talented whatsoever. They're playing at home, but they're going up against a 2-2 New Orleans Pelicans team. I'm going to take the Pelicans here. I just don't like OKC's roster. I think they have the worst roster in the West, and 5.5 isn't that big of a spread. Obviously, there isn't as much home court advantage without fans as there would normally be, so I am going to take the Pelicans in this game. Eric does not have a pick for this one. He thought there was only 2 games after 4 p.m. The games are a little weird today. You have 2 games, or no, you have 3 games that was before 4 p.m., And then you had 4 that were after. Eric only thought there were 2, so I don't have a pick for this one. We'll have to figure out something. He also didn't send me this double down, so things will be a little weird record-wise off the bat. But yeah, we'll figure things out. So, oh, Eric did double down on the Knicks game. So Reese is going with Pelicans. Reese is hitching his wagon to my picks. They're they want to play it safe and roll with me. You know, I beat Eric in chat last year, so they're trying to hitch their wagon to my train right here. I'm just kidding. We got a lot of Pelicans in chat. And we'll wait on Reese and Westbrook. Chat picks Pelicans. Appreciate it. Appreciate you counting. Oh, Reese, you did choose Rockets first game. Yeah, my memory isn't working too well right now. And appreciate Westbrook counting. Waiting on his pick. Westbrook is also going with the Pelicans. Eric is actually messaging me back right now, so I might be able to get his pick for this one. Westbrook going with the Pelicans. And if we could get Eric's picks. Eric's also going with the Pelicans. So we are all on board with the New Orleans Pelicans in this one. Nobody feeling really risky right now. So we're going with the Pelicans, all 5 of us. Let's go on to the 4th game, our 4th and final game. There's not really much action today, but we got the Jazz and the Suns. The Jazz at 2-1, the Suns at 3-1. The Jazz are favored by 4 points, and this might be the toughest game to pick because you got Utah at home. Utah's inconsistent. They don't play well to start the season, except against us on opening night, apparently. So I'm going to go with the Suns, despite them playing on the road. I think the Suns actually win this game outright. I'm confident in the Suns going into this game. They've been playing well with Chris Paul. The Jazz have been very iffy the past couple games against bad teams. So I am rolling with the Suns. Reese says Booker has been playing like trash and the Suns have been winning, so I'm going with the Suns to destroy the Jazz. So he is also going with the Phoenix Suns there. Westbrook is going Jazz. Eric went with the Suns as well. And we'll see what chat goes with. What's up, Alvaro? Pretty split votes in chat today. It looks like it's leaning Phoenix. I'll probably catch a bit. I almost. I want to catch a bit of this game. It is on NBA TV. Tipping off. I forgot to change the time. It's at 6 p.m., not 5 p.m. So that was a typo there. Darren says, "Hey Eric, is Eric in chat? Am I missing something?" It's just me today. Or if you're talking about Eric messaging me, yeah, I got him to message me back. We got chat going with Phoenix. So chat is rolling with my picks. Let's just go over what we have for the picks today. This is what we have for Houston, Sacramento. This is what we have for Raptors, New York. Everybody's going New York. Everybody's going New Orleans against the Thunder. And then we got Westbrook going with the Jazz and everybody else going with the Phoenix Suns. So a lot of us picking the same teams. There's probably not going to be a whole lot of separation. Now, chat, I need you guys to say which pick of yours you're most comfortable in, or which one was the biggest blowout, would you say? Reese and Westbrook, that's how we'll do it. Which game was chat most one-sided on. That'll be their double down. Reese and Westbrick, tell me your double down picks. I am going to probably double down on... I don't know why this is showing Knicks here. Because it's attached to these. So these Knicks picks are actually Kings picks. Yeah, that's something I gotta fix in the next stream. So these are actually the Kings. But I'm going to double down on New Orleans, actually. I'm feeling confident in this game. This isn't an obvious double down pick, but I'm feeling confident in New Orleans. It looks like chat's doubling down on New Orleans as well. So yeah, Reese and Westbrook, if you could let me know what you're doubling down on, that'd be cool. And then we can move on. OKC's going to win. Hot take, Alvaro, man. Maybe. Brian Scalabrine says no changes to Portland's injury report for tomorrow's game versus Golden State. Trent Jr. is questionable. Nasir Little and Zach Collins are out, I assume. I assume it wouldn't let him type the rest of that character limit or something. Westbrook is doubling down on the Knicks alongside Eric. And then Reese, just let me know which team you want to double down on. And we can move on. And I can get out of this small little window. Reese is doubling down on the Suns. Alrighty, so that's picks against the spread. So yesterday it was announced that Zach Collins is having surgery again, and he's out for even longer. And it's a shame because I had high hopes for him going into last season. He finally had a starting job, and he had that dislocated shoulder. Then he comes back for the bubble, can't play in the playoffs due to something with his ankle. He had surgery on it and had a setback or something. They had to do surgery on it again. So now he's out. Supposedly, I've heard 8 to 12 weeks. I've heard longer than that. I've heard 4 to 5 months. I don't know. It's unlikely he plays during the first half of this season. You know, we have the first half schedule. It's very unlikely he plays at any point during that time, which is just unfortunate, man, because you have a guy that... It's just unfortunate to see it happen to young players, especially because a guy like Zach works hard. It's ready to jump into the starting lineup, get set back that way, starts in the starting lineup in the bubble, but has some rust that he's trying to knock off, and then has another injury setback. So definitely feel bad for him. What this means going forward, Zach Collins is a free agent this summer. I think it'll be likely that we do offer him our qualifying offer of about $7 million. He's a restricted free agent, so if we offer that, then we have the right to match any contract a team gives him. I don't think he's going to have much of a market considering his injury issues. I don't think that a team is going to throw a $12 million, $13 million contract at him. I think it's likely that we bring him back next year on a qualifying offer. In that case, he has 1 year left on his deal, then he becomes an unrestricted free agent. So, it is a little bit risky. But we might decide to re-sign him long-term, re-sign him to some sort of long-term deal. I'm not quite sure with that, but I do expect him back next year, and I do expect him healthy next year. Everybody's talking about how injury-prone Zach Collins is, but this isn't a Greg Oden situation where it's something that is likely to be reoccurring, right? He had a dislocated shoulder on a fluke play. He got his shoulder yanked out of his socket on a rebound. It was a fluke play, and that sucks, but dislocated shoulders aren't reoccurring injuries. It's not something that you deal with over and over and over again usually. And you have some players that will deal with it multiple times, but it's not as bad as, say, a foot fracture or foot issues or knee issues. So I don't really expect him to have any lingering issues with that shoulder. In regards to this ankle, it's a stress fracture, but it's in his ankle. It's kind of in a weird spot. So, I mean, I don't know. You're talking about a big guy with a lot of weight coming down on that. They just need to fix that fully. They need that to heal fully, and then hopefully it shouldn't be a reoccurring injury with that ankle. That's why he's having this surgery to make sure it gets right, and he won't come back until he's 100% healthy. It might not be this season. He might not play this season. I don't know. I don't know what that timetable is. The timetable is indefinite. So yeah, I mean, it sucks, and it's two big injuries wiping out his third and fourth seasons pretty much, but long term, that doesn't mean that he can't be healthy. Long term, that doesn't mean that he is an injury prone big that is always going to deal with injuries like this. I don't believe that. It's possible that he's just bitten by the injury bug the rest of his career, but you've seen guys go from very injury prone to being able to stay healthy relatively consistently. You know, you look at like a Brook Lopez, who was always injured early in his career. Now he's consistently healthy for the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, there's guys like that are injured early on, don't get much of a chance, probably had their fan bases give up on them, like a lot of fans are giving up on Zach Collins. And then they're fine, you know, they're fine once they hit their second contract, they get healthy, and then they start to show out. So I do not want to waive Zach Collins. That is literally the worst idea possible. There's nothing to be gained from waiving Zach Collins. We could just let him become a free agent next summer anyways, and if we waive him, his contract is still on our books for this year, even though he's not on the team. So it makes no sense not to just keep him around. Also, we can use his salary in trades at the trade deadline if we wish, so waiving him now would get rid of that $5 million trade chip that could help us match salary and stay under the hard cap. You know, like, if we just waived Zach Collins right now, let's say all the people that wanted a James Harden trade at the trade deadline got their wish, right? CJ McCollum makes about $30 million a year. James Harden makes about $41 million a year. We are $6 million, maybe $7 million under the hard cap. We have to stay under that because we used our mid-level exception on Derrick Jones Jr. So we have to trade out about $35 million. Actually, maybe a little bit more, because we'd have to fill those roster spots. If it's a 3-for-1 trade, we'd have to then fill the open roster spots that we left open by consolidating. So we'd have to trade out about $36 million. CJ's making 29 or so. So you'd have to trade out Enes Kanter as well, but that doesn't get you there. And like at that point, yeah, you're probably looking at Nasir Little, Gary Trent Jr., whatever. I don't know. But it's just nice to have another $5 million guy that can help you out in a trade salary-wise. If we don't think Zach Collins is a long-term fit in our future because he's super injury-prone, then it doesn't mean that we have to waive him. You know, I want to go into free agency, making him a restricted free agent and giving him that $7 million qualifying offer. If he's injured again, then he becomes a free agent the year after. Okay, move on. If he's healthy, maybe he shows out, and then we can re-sign him long term if he proves that he can be a part of our future. Or we can use him as $5 million in salary via trade at the trade deadline. Like, that is what is coming up. That is what I expect to happen. People getting frustrated with him being hurt and saying to waive him aren't really thinking about anything like realistic. You know, they're kind of thinking emotionally, because that doesn't help the team in any sort of way. It doesn't accomplish anything. There's nothing to be gained by that. I've heard people say waive Zach Collins, and then I've heard people say waives Collins so that we can sign somebody else, but we already have an open roster spot, and waiving him isn't going to take his salary off the books or anything. We could stretch it, I guess, but still, it's not really ideal. So, I'll read chat. I keep seeing like one person at chat say lag, but everybody else seems fine. So I don't know if I'm being trolled or what, but Recess Pascal Siakam is active for tonight's game but not expected to play, so that helps with the New York Knicks pick there. Yeah, I don't know. Westbrook, it's like one person out of everybody will say it, so I don't think it's an issue. I think people just trolling me. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts on what I've laid out here, chat? Like, do you guys agree with me? Do you guys want something different? Like, do you guys want to trade him for sure? Do you guys want to let him walk this offseason for sure? I just don't really see what's to be gained from letting him walk, but maybe you have a reason for it. Let me know in chat, and you can ask me your questions about Collins. I'll be more in tune with chat just because, we don't have Eric on the stream. Reese says thoughts on when the series is going to be back because nobody knows, and by nobody, you know who I'm talking about. I mean, if nobody knows, Reese, you with all your sources and none of your sources know, then I have no idea. So, Alvaro says also bringing back Zach and Giles now, considering we can probably keep him for cheap now. Honestly, the odds of bringing back Giles are low because this dude deserves playing time and he's not playing. He's on a minimum contract, 1 year. He's not getting playing time under Stotts. Stotts refuses to play him any meaningful minutes right now, even though he probably deserves them. So I don't think Giles will want to come back because I think Giles at some point is going to get really frustrated with the fact that he's not playing any meaningful minutes when he, man, that dude looks phenomenal every time I see him. So, yeah, I think it's far more likely we keep Zach Collins next year than we keep Harry Giles. So it seems like all you guys pretty much agreeing with me. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, he does the little things. Like, he does the things this team needs. He's one of those glue guys that does the underappreciated things that helps a team win at a high level. It's like, what's funny to me is everybody complains about the defense last year. The defense was awful last year, and the defense hasn't been that good this year either. But then they go off about how Zach Collins is a bust and worthless and all this type of stuff, and it's like a contradiction in a way because you have this terrible defense and then you have this guy that is a good shot blocker, is quick enough to defend fours on the perimeter, has good instincts, just plays all around good defense. He boxes out well. He doesn't put up great rebounding numbers, but he boxes out well, so they're a little bit misleading. He does little things. So the fans that don't appreciate those little things while also complaining about the fact that we don't have those little things are very confusing to me. I don't understand that. So yeah, that's the thing. It's like you got a 3-and-D guy that can play the 4 or the 5. That's hard to find in the NBA. I know he doesn't do it at a super high level, but like for a foundation for a player, that's a really good foundation to have a stretch big at 7 feet tall that can play the 4 or the 5 spot. So yeah, it sucks that he didn't have his third and now likely fourth seasons to build upon that. But he's still what? Let me look up his age because I think he's 22 years old right now, 23 years old. Zach Collins' age? He's 23 years old right now. He turned 23 a month ago. So he's a fresh 23-year-old. He'll at the start of next season, he'll still only be 23 years old. So he's still young. He still has time to grow. He still has time. He still has probably 3-4 years till his prime. There's no reason to not just play the patient game on that one. Yeah, Westbrook, you're old, man. Come on. We're Westbrook. We're like the elder statesman of the whole mod group. Actually, Eric's the elder statesman. What am I talking about? Let me know what you want to talk about in chat as well. I don't really have like a topic planned for this, and it's a little weird not to be able to just bounce off of Eric with that one. Reese says Philly is blowing out Orlando. That's a bit surprising. Orlando's 4-0. Orlando's been playing good basketball. You've had guys like Fultz playing well. Even Cole Anthony, who I didn't like as a prospect, has been playing well. So they've been looking good. So them getting blown out, it's a little bit surprising. You got a lot of people slandering Stotts for not playing Giles. Yeah, man, I mean, Kanter's playing well, so I understand it. It's just Giles gives us the skill set we need next to Melo, and they're not going to play Melo. So, like, they're going to play Melo. Pair him with a center that helps cover for some of Melo's weaknesses. That's what I think we should do. Apple says Torrey will Dame play tomorrow. Why wouldn't he? Is there something I missed? Brad the Kid says, you familiar with Ben Gregg? I know you're a Zag fan. I'm in the same grade as him. He went to my high school but graduated early. Now, of course, I think he could be really good. I haven't really watched him play, but I know who he is. I'm familiar, like, just with his name. And, like, I haven't really looked into him that much. I just know he was a Zag commit. So I've heard a lot about him from people that either knew him, played against him, whatnot. Seems like he could be a good player. Ben Darling says, "Ew, Gonzaga." Ben Darling is an Illinois Illini fan. You guys have been kind of disappointing this year, Ben. So I wouldn't want to talk trash about college basketball, man, if I were you. Westbrook says, what do you think about all the blowouts to start the season? Do you think the NBA needs to / can change some rules to help keep the games more even? I don't know, man. I don't know what the exact reason is for that. You've had blowouts galore this year. Look at Christmas Day. Christmas Day, there was blowout after blowout after blowout after blowout. And then there was I think there was a 10-point game in there. That was kind of close. Felt a little closer. But it wasn't competitive in the end of games. I mean, you just look at the scoreboard today. You have the 76ers beating the Magic by a score of 59-27. You had the Pacers beat the Cavs by a score of 119-99. The Wizards and Bulls is close. Both those teams suck, but the Wizards are up 3 with 4 minutes left, so it's not like you don't have close games. But, I mean, you look at yesterday. The Celtics beat the Grizzlies 126-107. The Clippers beat the Blazers 128-105. The Lakers beat the Spurs 121-107. The Hornets beat the Mavericks 118-99. The Heat beat the Bucks 119-108. They got revenge. The game before, the Bucks beat the Heat by 50. The only game within 10 points yesterday was the Nets beating the Hawks by a score of 145-141. Every other game was at least a 10-point win. I mean, you can go back to the day before, and the day before, it was actually a little bit closer, but regardless, I definitely notice a trend where there's a lot of blowouts. I don't know why that is. Do you guys have a theory as to why there's so many blowouts? Is the shooting more variable? I'm sure there's a stat that could probably explain it. Maybe the 3-point shooting is just more varied this season. That could potentially explain it. I don't know. But yeah, there's been a lot more blowouts. I hope to see that change. I want to see closer games. I don't think there's anything the NBA can do, and I don't think they should do anything. It's just it could just be a random coincidence, or it could be something that is a factor at the start of the season. Teams are rusty, so teams will play great one day and then bad the next. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, just gotta hope we get closer games. Oh, excuse me. Let me see, where was somebody asked about what defensive schemes we should run tomorrow. Let me find the question and read it off. Pascal Siakam out Thursday as a disciplinary measure for exiting the floor early after Tuesday's loss. Really? Who's disciplining him? Does Pascal think he's LeBron? Because that's a very LeBron-esque thing to do. That's what LeBron did against us. I guess Siakam doesn't get the same leeway. Yeah, somebody asked me about the defensive schemes we should run tomorrow. Honestly, here's what I do tomorrow. I'd come out trapping Steph Curry. Trapping him hard. Try and force some turnovers. Right? Get the ball out of his hands. Now, you have to rotate well when you get the ball out of his hands, but you got to trap him hard, not let him hit the big. You can't let him just pass it in between the trap to the big that's rolling. You got to, trap in the passing lane so that he can't easily get it to that big guy. So his outlet options might be Andrew Wiggins at the 3-point line. I'll live with that. Andrew Wiggins is not efficient. Kelly Oubre has not been efficient from the perimeter. maybe it's James Wiseman. You know, if James Wiseman beats us shooting threes, I'm kind of okay with that. Like, I don't have that level of confidence in his 3-point shot, even though he has shown that he can knock one down. Draymond is probable. Yeah, you don't want Draymond to be the playmaker there, so you want to keep the ball out of his hands. You don't want Draymond to be the outlet option, but you can trap Steph and take away Draymond as the outlet. If he's the role guy, you just can't give space in between the trap for Curry to thread the needle in a pass to Draymond rolling to the middle of the floor. All right. I would just trap Steph and see what it looks like. If you can force some turnovers, get some runouts, maybe you can get up early and maybe we can actually get what would probably be our first 10-point lead this season, because we haven't really had one of those. I'd trap him. Against other guys, I would go under the screen. Against Oubre, I'd go under the screen. He hasn't shot well. Against Wiggins, I'd go under the screen. He hasn't shot well. If those guys start heating up, then maybe you have to go over the screen. Maybe you hedge those guys specifically, or you just drop the big. You run the normal scheme. But I would guard the pick and roll differently with those guys. Now the thing is they run a lot of off-ball movement, so they don't just have to rely on pick and roll. So we might have to switch. I would probably put. It's tough, man, because like Andrew Wiggins is a big 2 guard. Oubre's solid size for a 3. So I'd want to put like Derrick Jones Jr. on Steph, but I mean, what, you're going to put Dame on Wiggins and then you're going to put CJ on Oubre? I feel like that's kind of, I don't know, that might be kind of rough. So you might just have to put Dame on Steph, but here's the thing. If you put Dame on Steph, then you can have a guy like Derrick Jones Jr. switch out if Steph is running off screens, right? So honestly, a lot of those off-ball screens, I'd maybe think about switching by keeping Dame on, or starting Dame on Steph most possessions, and then switching guys like Derrick Jones Jr. or Robert Covington out depending on the screen, you know, and you know, maybe you end up with CJ on Draymond because you switched, but that's fine if you shut down Steph Curry. I think Steph Curry is the guy we got to shut down. I would make all those other guys beat us because Oubre hasn't been good offensively. Wiggins is overrated, very overrated offensively. Draymond has declined drastically offensively. So I think that's the plan. On the offensive end, move the ball, set picks, cut, that type of thing is what I would do. Reese, why'd you time out RIP Blazers for that? He said he meant to remove the comment. He didn't mean to give him a timeout. Okay, apologies, RIP. Why'd you want to remove the comment? You didn't need to remove that comment. Dang, Reese. Yeah, it's all good though. Apologies to RIP Blazers for your unjust ban, because that wasn't justified. G League GM for now says, here's some info. I'm a G League GM right now, but used to assist overseas in Japan. Listen to me, you guys ain't competing unless you trade for Jaylen Brown or James Harden. You need a dynamic score. I would think a G League GM could spell Jaylen Brown. Also, I don't know if there is a such thing as a G League GM. So, yeah, I highly doubt that, my guy. But yeah, because a lot of the G Leagues are ran by the NBA GM, so I think you're just straight up lying with that one. But I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. Westbrook says, okay, so here's how you fix the league. Dunks equal 3, painted area non-dunks equal 2, mid-range equal 1, 3-point range equal 3, add 4-point line, half court equals 8 points. That is a terrible idea. If the game ever became like that, man, oh, I couldn't respect it. I should ban Trevin for showing up late and barely communicating with me. Trevin, make your picks against the spread picks. You got, I mean, you can't make the one that started at 4, but you can make the other 3. Let me pull it. Let me pull it up here so I see the spreads. You got the Raptors versus the Knicks. Siakam isn't playing. The Raptors were favored by 9 points. Everybody picked Knicks. Who do you want, Trevin? Who do you just let me know what you want for all these games? Raptors favored by 9, but they're playing without Siakam against the Knicks. Then you got OKC versus New Orleans in Oklahoma City. New Orleans is favored by 5.5 points. Everybody picked New Orleans. Then you got Utah against Phoenix in Utah. Utah's favored by 4 points. Everybody picked the Suns except for Westbrook, who picked the Jazz. So let me know what you want for all 3 of those games. And I will I will fill them in here. I have to switch to these scenes real quick to fill them in for Trevin. But I definitely want to get Trevin's picks in here. He'll be a little bit behind record-wise, but we can make that up. There we go. And then he said the Thunder for the next game. He's rolling against the grain. That's good to see. He's going Thunder there. And then we got Knicks, Thunder, and then Jazz. Mods, we will message you like the spreads an hour before in case you guys can't show up. So we need to start doing that just to make things easier if you guys can't show up. But there we go. There we go. Honestly, if the Rockets game is close right now, then I might just let him pick that game too, just so we have all the picks. It's tied. It's tied. So who do you want? You got Houston. I need to change this to Kings. It's just like kind of glitched out. So who do you want with this game, Trevin? This game's tied right now in the first quarter. So yeah. Normally we won't let him pick into a game, but since it's tied, I'll let you pick just to keep the records even. You going Rockets? All right. Let me know. Trevin's going Rockets. All right, there we go. We got all our picks. That's good. All right. So, yeah, Sixers are wiping the floor with the Magic right now. But yeah, I mean, I want more competitive games. I love competitive basketball. Nobody loves a blowout except for the team blowing the team out. You know, if you're trying to watch basketball, you're not going to watch a game where the Sixers are winning by a score of 68-33. There's been some wild blowouts. I would love for us to be one of the teams that blows out a team, though, because it seems like we really don't do that. I would love to have a blowout win at some point. It seems like we're allergic to those, though. Ben Simmons hit a 3. You know things are going good when Ben Simmons hit a 3. Ben Simmons hit a 3 in this game, so everything's going right for the Sixers. Yeah, leave your questions. I don't really have any plan for the rest of this. So just leave your questions. I'll just talk with you, chat, since we don't got Eric. The Bulls are up 3 with 14 seconds left. You got... Let's see how Westbrook's doing. Oh, Westbrook is actually an efficient 8 for 18 and 3 for 5 from the three-point line. And they're still probably going to lose to the Chicago Bulls. The Wizards are bad, man. Everybody was telling me about how good that team was going to be. Oh, well, they added Westbrook with Beal. Beal last season put up great stats, but it was on a losing team. I think he got a little bit overrated. Westbrook, I think, has been overrated. Other than that, like, that team can't defend. Avdia can't defend. My guy Rui, I love Rui, but he still has some work to go on the defensive end. Thomas Bryant is not a good defender. Davis Bertans is not a good defender. He's 0 for 7, 0 for 5 from 3. That guy's worthless if he's not hitting threes. Great three-point shooter and can do a little bit off the dribble, but not a good defender. Troy Brown Jr., I wouldn't say is great. Yeah, they don't got defense on that team, so... Westbrook says, have you ever considered doing a Google poll so that chat can pick without having us to go through and count chat's picks against the spread? I could do that, but like having people click off the stream is, I don't know how I feel about that. I I mean, just a second tab. I don't know. I have to figure it out. I wish I could do it through YouTube, man. I wish I could just. They need to add an interface where I can hit create poll and then like for a certain amount of time, and then type in four options like I can do in the community tab, and then post poll in chat, and then it could like pop up at the top of chat and like stay there, and people could participate. That would be so easy, but. Yeah, sorry, RIP, man. He says, oof, I'm back. A, I don't know why Reese was trying to delete that comment. B, he accidentally banned you for 5 minutes, so apologies. Tyler says, I think Washington makes a trade before the deadline. You shouldn't be paying that much for that team to be so bad. Yeah, but they're like dead set on pretty much keeping their roster intact, except for that John Wall trade. Like, they haven't wanted to trade Beal. So, I mean, maybe Beal becomes the star that's available at the deadline, but... I don't know. Westbrook says, I think there are bots you can add to the chat to do polls as well. Yeah, it's just like, honestly, it might be more prep work. And like, this stream went late because I was prepping. So I don't know how much I want more prep work necessarily. Jaden says, how do you think Dame will do against the Warriors? I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. Depends on how they guard him. Depends on if he's feeling it or not. You know, Dame hasn't been playing the best, so yeah, I don't know. It's hard to predict that. Beal for Blake Griffin in the first. Why would Washington do that? They could get more for Beal. Bradley Beal deal for CJ. That's very unlikely. I mean, Bradley Beal is not that good of a defender. I mean, what does Bradley Beal do that's that much better than CJ? Like, he was on a bad team last year and had the ball in his hands all the time. Like, he had more assists per game last year, but I think you put CJ in that spot instead, and CJ's stats are pretty similar, actually. So, I don't know. But I don't think the team would do it because they're not going to want to trade CJ. So that's the thing with that one. Like, they're not going to trade CJ for a Bradley Beal just because they're pretty loyal to CJ. And I feel like they would only trade CJ for, like, a Giannis or maybe a Harden at some point, like, if they're really desperate. But I feel like those are the only scenarios I could possibly see CJ getting traded. But yeah, I'll look into like polls and see if there might be a good option for doing a poll for picks against the spread, because that would definitely be easier. Do you see Little getting more or less minutes this season? Less. It would be the same thing as Anthony. Anthony's getting less minutes. We're deeper. Like, who's Little gonna play over? They're not gonna play him over Carmelo. They're not gonna play him over Rodney Hood. They're not gonna play him over Gary Trent Jr. They're not gonna play him over Enes Kanter. Like, if Giles can't get minutes, then Little definitely can't get minutes. I don't think Little will really play at all. I would like to just to see him back, though. That'd be kind of cool. He's been gone for so long. Jane says, do you like what CJ has done so far? I've liked his playmaking. I've liked that he's kind of brought that to a new level. I want to see him improve defensively. His defense has not been good. He was talking about improving going into the season. I have yet to see the improvement he's been talking about. So I want to see him improve defensively. Like, that's something that I pay attention to game in, game out, and it has not been good so far. Tyler says, I do think we make some consolidation trade at the deadline. Probably nothing too exciting, but something. The thing is, if we make a consolidation trade, we'd probably have to trade out more salary than we're getting back because we want to stay under the tax. So, like, if we traded out 3 players for 1, we'd then have to go and sign 2 more players on top of that because we'd have to fill those 2 roster spots. You have to have 14 guys on a team. Right now, we have 14 guys. So, if we go and do a 3-for-1 trade for, like, a guy making $18 million, we'd have to trade out around $20 million to stay under the tax, which I think is a priority for this team. So it's going to be tough trade-wise, but that's just something to remember, is that it's not like we just have to match salary. We have to likely trade out more if we're consolidating, because I don't think this team wants to go in the luxury tax. The problem is if they're in the luxury tax this season, then you start dealing with the possibility of repeater tax, which is far heavier financial penalties, and dealing with the repeater tax when Dame's Supermax extension kicks in is not going to be ideal financially for Jody or whoever owns the team. I don't think it would be just a Jody thing. I think it'd be pretty much any owner. Paul Allen wouldn't really be an issue, I don't think, but with Jody and a lot of other owners in the NBA, definitely is an issue. Alex Wolf says, is Ellaby on a two-way? No. Blevins is the only one on a two-way. You got Ellaby on a normal, 3-year rookie contract. Oh, man, I'll be honest, too much. It's that melatonin, man. makes me tired. Sven, that sounds like a good game plan. We win more if we score more than the opponent. That should definitely be the game plan. Just score more points. Wizards just lost. They moved to 0-5. Yeah. So the Blazers play the Warriors twice in a row. It's one of two back-to-backs where they play the same team in a row. They got the Grizzlies on the 20th and 22nd later next month. It's nice that we don't have too many of those, but yeah, I just definitely don't enjoy them. I expect the Blazers to probably split. They'll probably look great one game. They'll probably look really bad one game. Who knows? Who knows how they play tomorrow? They should win both these games. The Warriors have not been playing well, but I expect one of these games, a guy like Kelly Oubre, to go off and beat us. But after that, the schedule gets really easy, and you head into January. It'll be nice to get into 2021. Sherman says Scott Brooks is going to get fired. That's definitely possible if they keep playing like this. Belgian says Blazers should be favored for all of January. Honestly, they could be favored in every game in all of January. If they're playing well, they definitely could be. But, yeah, you just got to take care of games you're supposed to win. There's no excuse. I don't want to hear, it's only game 8. Well, I don't care that we lost to the San Antonio Spurs. It's only game 8. I don't care that we lost to the Chicago Bulls. It's only game 9. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that at all. We had that all year last year, and it almost cost us a playoff spot. We barely got in, Contending teams don't make excuses like that. It's not, it's only game 9. Who cares? We lost to the Bulls. Well, we're 5-4 though. No, you gotta take care of these games. You gotta take care of these games you're supposed to win. We're far more talented than a lot of these teams that we play coming up. And you just gotta take care of business. You gotta play well. So if this team plays like they can, they'll win a lot of these games. I'm just a little bit worried that we're just going to see a super inconsistent team that looks great one game and then terrible the next, and it's going to be frustrating because we'll see how good this team can be when they play at their peak, and then they'll play like how they did against the Clippers. We've seen that with the Jazz look terrible. The Rockets, honestly, the team didn't look good either. The Rockets just didn't have much talent. And then the Lakers, the team looks great. And then the Clippers, the team looks terrible. So honestly, I'd say 2 out of 4 games, this team has looked terrible. 1 out of 4 games, this team has looked kind of bad, but they still won against the Rockets. And then the Lakers, against the Lakers, they looked great. So, just need to find that consistency and figure things out on a consistent basis. But Westbrook says, we should go 12-4 or better, but we'll probably end up going 9 or 5. That would be 9-7 because out of 16 games, 9 or 7 would be a disaster. If this team does any worse than 10-6, it's a disaster in my opinion. Honestly, 10-6 is still I would still say that's kind of bad considering the teams we're playing. 11-6 is the minimal baseline. I would say realistic hope is 12-4. Shervins, is their schedule really hard? You could post it in chat. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see if we can take care of business against the Warriors. We need to get off to a roll here. We need to get off with some momentum. The Wizards schedule, sure. Yeah, their schedule is super hard. Yeah, they're about to be 1-10. Yeah, that's very likely. I wonder if they could trade. They could trade Westbrook at the trade deadline. I wonder if Westbrook gets traded again, becomes a journeyman. That'd be funny, man. Um, Robert says, "Why is there so many triple doubles this year?" Who had a triple double today? Westbrook did, but he's like king triple double. There has been decent amount. I know Julius Randle had one. Trevor says, knowing the team in previous years prior to last year, we'd go 9-7 over the easy stretch, and then go like 13-3 in a harder stretch after that. Yeah, I mean that was the team like a couple years ago, 3 years ago. Yeah, and I mean last year we had a stretch where we beat like some decent teams consistently after we got Ariza, and that's probably because we had Ariza instead of Kent Bazemore, who was frustrating. But yeah, I mean, just gotta move the ball, adjust defensively, play good outside defense, play the right scheme defensively, and we'll be fine and we'll win a lot of games. Like it's literally simple. It should be simple for an NBA team. This team makes it out. This team makes it more complicated than it needs to be. Move the ball and cut. Screen away. Screen off ball. Make the right pass. Make the right play. If you do that, then you could miss shots and still win games. We didn't shoot that great from three. We shot under 35% from three against the Lakers. We still beat the Los Angeles Lakers. So we could play that style of basketball and probably shoot 25% from three and still beat any of those bad lottery teams that we have coming up. So yeah, like offensively, it's like I hate the excuse we just miss shots, because a lot of times when people say we just miss shots, or when the coaching says we just miss shots, a lot of times we didn't get good shots because our offense was far too stagnant. So that's the thing with me. Like, just move the ball, move players. It's that simple. And then it won't have to come down to, oh, well, we missed some threes, because you'll get better shots inside. Like, we got good shots in the interior against the Lakers, and they're a good interior defense, but we were able to get them moving, get them extended, get them scrambling, and it allowed us to get buckets around the rim against them, despite them being a good interior defense. You do that against the Chicago Bulls, you're going to have a field day on the inside, and they're going to have to collapse so much that you're going to have great three-point looks. But even if you start missing those, you can still attack the interior playing that style of basketball and get good shots inside and not have to rely on knocking down a bunch of threes. So that's what I want to see coming up offensively. And then defensively, it's if they start picking apart the drop scheme, switch up the scheme. If we play off-ball defense like we did against the Lakers, we'll be fine. Like, this team could... If this team played like they did against the Lakers, I wouldn't rule out 16-0. If this team played like how they did against the Lakers. They probably drop one or two, maybe another team plays good. But if we play like how we did against the Lakers, we're going to start off like 16-4 or something insane over the first 20 games. Now, obviously, they're not going to be able to play like that every night. So that's where, hopefully they can go like at least 11-5, if not 12-4 during the stretch, because I do expect some duds, of course. Just got to keep those to a minimum. I'm just worried it's going to be like every other game we have a dud, because that's how it's been. 2 of the 4 games we've had complete duds so far. 3 out of the 4 preseason games we've had complete duds. So that's 5 out of the 9 games. That's more than 50%. So we got to cut down those. Jaden says, do you like what Jones Jr. has done so far? I mean, I want to see him cut more. I want to get him out in transition a little bit more. He has not been finishing as well as I was expecting. But his three-point shot looks okay. He's shooting 31% from 3. He's shooting 28.6% from the field right now. He's shooting 26.7% from 2. That's not good. What's crazy is last year he shot 67.7% from 2. So he's literally down 41% from 2 point range. Obviously, 4 games in, small sample size, right? So like I'm not worried in that regard. It's just he needs to finish better and needs to get better shots around the rim. Now 3 point shooting isn't that great either at 31%, but I'm hoping he can bring that up a little bit. Alex says, how many players would be your ideal playoff rotation? 8 to 9. 8 or 9. Like, that range is perfect. Leo says Nurk needs to be more aggressive. I agree. He needs to take the ball stronger to the rim when finishing, and he needs to, he just needs to play stronger, and not play so finesse, and yeah. I want to see more out of Nurk, man. There's a lot of players on this team where it's like I want to see more out of them. I want to see more out of Dame. Dame can play better than this. Nurkic can play better than this. Derrick Jones Jr. can play better than this. I know I'm gonna butcher that name, but Iosu says Happy New Year from Spain. Tori, go effing Blazers. Um, End result this season. What end result this season could you see Terry getting replaced if we missed the playoffs? And maybe if we're like the seventh, eighth seed? I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Yeah, so Apple says could Giles take Canner's minutes by the All Star break? See, like I don't know. I think Giles should take his minutes right now, but I have no idea what Stoss is gonna do. Like Stoss is stubborn, so it's kind of just up in the air from a Stoss perspective. RIP Blazer said, "What if we trade Derrick Jones Jr., Ennis Cantor, and Collins for Grant, Sadiq Bey, and then Otto Porter got bought out and we picked him up? It'd be a dream come true." Yeah, I mean, yeah. Grant's been playing well. They're not just gonna give him up for Derrick Jones Jr., Ennis Cantor, and Zach Collins, though. They're gonna want more back than that for sure. But Otto Porter Jr., Jeremy Grant, those guys would fit. Having Otto Porter Jr., Jeremy Grant, Robert Covington would be kind of surreal. What's up, Ben? Yeah, we got some Euroblazer fans in here. Yeah, I don't know. See, it's like I've been asked that question so much. Do you think Giles is gonna play? Do you think he's gonna get playing time? Like guys, I have no clue if Stotts will ever give him a chance. Like, I have no clue if he'll ever get a legit chance. Like, yeah, I feel like he could play phenomenal in practice and just outplay Kaner and won't get a chance. So, like, I just can't, like, I don't have a good answer to that question. Alex, I think that's highly unlikely. Yeah, I mean, Stotts with young players is kind of infuriating sometimes. I mean, you had Hazonia playing over Little for the majority last season, and it was just inexplicable. Unexplainable. So, I mean, it could be the same exact thing. But the thing is, we had so many injuries that Little still got to play. If we're healthy this year, I feel bad for Giles, man. I don't think he's going to get much of a chance, even though he probably deserves one. Boylan is not still here. Stotts brought him in to like talk to him to consult with him, and he wasn't becoming an assistant coach or anything. Like, we're a full time consulter, however you say it. Um, yeah, and I mean Stotts is just back to his old ways anyway. What's up, Gabe? Or dude, I can't talk. I'm that melatonin that I took last night is still waiting for it to wear off. But what's up, Dave? I almost called you Gabe. You should be the Blazers' next coach. I wouldn't be able to do that job. Like, I know basketball, but I've never coached before. You know, there is things that go into it that I wouldn't be great at or anything. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, you think you can be an NBA coach? You're dumb." But yeah, I mean, you gotta be the voice of the locker room and lead the team and all that type of stuff. How many did you take? 5 milligrams. So extra strong. Because I think I got just a sleeping disorder or something. I don't know. Who's your favorite Blazers media person? Probably Brooke. Brooke Olsen, damn. I wouldn't count Lamar Hurd. He's a commentator. He's not like a media person that like, eh. I don't know. I like Lamar Hurd too. I don't know if we're including commentators in that, but yeah, I like Lamar Hurd. I like Brooke. Other than that, nobody I'm super fond of. I'm hearing fireworks outside at 5 p.m. Did y'all hear that? I don't know if y'all heard that, but yeah, just heard a loud bang, and then I heard the fireworks after. At first, it was like, what in the world is that? Yeah, a little bit early, but yeah, 2021. Thank goodness this year is over, man. We yeah, the journey was insane, man. Like this whole year has been insane for me. Um, yeah, this whole year like has been crazy from the channel. Like ended up like having a falling out with like a 3 year relationship at the start of the year, like right when the pandemic was hitting. So like the start of this year was rough, man. The start of this year was so rough, and then you had the pandemic hit, which of course took away basketball. It took away my rec league, which I miss. You know, I love playing basketball, so took away my gym. Oftentimes I'd go to BlackRock. I don't know if you guys go to BlackRock or anything, but I'd go there and work on stuff just to get out of the house and not feel cooped up. That gets closed down. Obviously, everything that goes on with COVID. I know people have had a lot worse, have lost loved ones. My condolences out to everybody who's lost somebody due to this pandemic. But you know, you have all this pandemic hit, and then the bubble, and then just free agency and the draft right before the start of the season. Now we're in the season. Like this whole year, just from a personal perspective, this pandemic, this channel, basketball, NBA has been crazy. So yeah, I'm glad to just turn the calendar and just like start fresh. I know it's kind of an arbitrary thing, but it can be like a symbolic thing in a way, and a mental thing. Reese says, per Jason Quick, the Portland Trailblazers don't have enough assets to get James Harden. Okay. I mean, I don't. Okay. Would they even want to trade for James Harden? Like, I don't think that's really something they're looking at. But yeah, I don't really feel like going into Harden rumors right now. But yeah, so this year's been crazy. Happy to turn the calendar. Happy to call this the last stream of this crazy year. So yeah, hopefully 2021 is a lot better. Um, Hopefully 2021 is great. Share me your if you have like New Year's resolutions, tweet them at me. I'm curious. You guys can tweet me your New Year's resolutions. I have 21 goals for 2021. Just some random goals I got. So yeah, definitely ready to just flip the calendar and kind of try and adopt a new perspective and mindset with the new year. RIP says, would you be mad if we kept Giles to start next year and we trade Nurkic for Grant? Why in the world would we trade Nurkic for Grant? And how would we keep Giles? He's on a minimum contract. We don't have his bird rights. What was your prediction for Zach's future with Portland? I talked about that right after picks against the spread. So you could probably scrub back and see when the picks against the spread graphics were up. And then right after it changed back to my normal cam, then that's when I was talking about Zach Collins. When did you start playing basketball? When I was really young. Young, like 5. Yeah, man, dude, like this year I just want my rec league back. I want to get in shape. I'm out of shape. I want to get in shape. I have a jump program, like a 2-month jump program that I want to try and complete and just see what that does for me. Want to learn how to cook a lot better, that type of thing. Just like be healthier. Like that's a huge thing for me. It's just like hard without, like, with me where I'm at, I don't really have my own kitchen. I kind of live like in a basement apartment, so to say. There's another firework. They're popping off. It's like right out front. But yeah, I basically live in like a basement apartment without a kitchen. So yeah, I don't eat the best, and then like I can't cook, so to say, and then no gyms are open or anything. Like I'm not getting exercise, and it just sucks because it's like the first time in my life that I haven't been able to like get out and like get exercise. I mean, I could go running, but pavement is, I don't have the best knees, so maybe that's a soft excuse, but I hate running on pavement, so it's tough. I just want my gym back. Vivek, that is a dumb comment. Why do you leave comments like that? Why are you asking me why don't I do something when you're talking like that, man? Come on. Ben says, why are people hating on players so fast like Nurkic or even Dame? Because people are ridiculous and reactionary. Apple says, Tori, who do we put to mainly defend Curry? I've already touched on that. Probably start off with Dame and maybe switch some of those off-ball screens to switch somebody like Derek Jones Jr. out on him, Robert Covington, whatnot. Yeah, I'm tired of, like, the drastic Nurkic hate, man. Everybody loved Nurkic, and now all of a sudden everybody hates Nurkic 4 games into a season when he still hasn't had that many games back from a broken leg. Like, y'all gotta chill. It's absolutely ridiculous. I genuinely judge people based on the way they act about Nurkic right now. You're talking about 4 games into the season. Third game, he was fine. He was 5 for 7, had 10, 12, and 3, man. But has a poor game last night, and everybody's just sitting here hating on him. Like, y'all gotta chill with that crap. Like, I hate that. Dude, how many games has he had since return from a broken leg? Like, real games. Talking about 13, 14. You're talking about 18 games? Normally it takes guys a year of playing time to really come back from a broken leg. The dude broke his leg. Like, y'all gotta show him support, man. That'll help more than just sitting here like, Nurkic's so soft, Nurkic's so bad, man. Sitting here talking like Vivek, like, you're a Nurk apologist, why don't you tweet about Nurkic getting beat around all game? Like, stop that crap, man. That's ridiculous. But like, I shouldn't be surprised because it's Vivek, but and then you have just people say drastic stuff like Giles is more talented. Like, it's just people saying drastic, reactionary, hot take, Skip Bayless type of stuff. I don't respect it. But yeah, like, dude, gotta get back in shape and whatnot. He's obviously not fully in shape and just not, like, in a rhythm right now. So, yeah, hasn't even had 20 games and people are already just absolutely slandering him. Ridiculous. But, you know, that's what people do. You got all these reactionary people in the fan base that say a bunch of crazy things. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up the stream. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry if it was a bit more subdued. I'm still, like, I don't know. I'm, like, I feel like I'm struggling to stay awake right now, man. Melatonin, that's what it does to you. Appreciate it. Dave, he says, Tori, I think you and Derek have done a fantastic job in growing the channel over the last year. What are your goals for Blazers Uprise 2021? I will have, like, I know I was teasing a update video before the season. I'm going to likely upload that tomorrow. Just first day of the year. I was just saving it to the new year, but I will have, like, goals for the channel as well as some things that, you know, like, we'll be doing, updates to channel memberships and that type of thing. So I will have that. I will have that tomorrow. Mailbag probably tomorrow as well. Just wanted, you know, I don't know. I just haven't gotten around to it. I'm working a lot right now, so But yeah, so yeah, mailbag and like the 2021 content plan and like some of the goals and memberships and the website. Like I'll fully announce that since that's up, but we haven't really gotten that going yet. But yeah, so we will get that going and get the ball rolling on that. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Eric should be back the next Blazers Uprise Live and the next post-game stream. That's just a one-off because this is the busiest day of the year for a store, or one of the busiest days of the year for a store. So yeah, Happy New Year's. Hope you guys have a good night. Stay responsible. Probably not wise to go gather in groups of 20, but obviously you can do your own thing in that regard. I'm not even really gonna hang out with anybody or do anything. I'll probably just game a little bit with some of the people in the community that I've been gaming with the past few weeks. Yeah, so I don't know. Definitely not wise to necessarily gather, but obviously you guys can do whatever you guys have your own freedom and whatnot to do what you want. Yeah, just definitely want to try and get this pandemic under control because it's getting pretty bad right now. So this outro wasn't supposed to turn into that. But anyway, yeah. So hope you have a good New Year's Eve. Hope you have a good New Year's. Hopefully 2021 is a lot better than 2020 has been. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you later. As always, peace out. Go Blazers.